light for you in dark places when all other lights go out.
Hey guys, DCHL Devin here.
DCHL Jake.
And today we are going to do another Light in the Dark question and answer video. And this is actually going to be a special video because we're responding to GBHL James, or Hotgates Gaming James. He talked about a question regarding Ardacon and Nova. Ooh. And also we're going to hit some One Ring questions because we actually haven't been on the One Ring forums in a while. So we actually just wanted to cover a bunch of questions from there. So I guess let's get straight into it.
Yeah.
So you tell me, James actually posted what was basically a two-part question here. So I'm going to go ahead and split it into multiple parts. He says, hey dudes, it's GBHL or Hotgates Gaming James popping up to say hi and hopefully make a contribution. The grand tournament at Ardacon is, as you say, 600 points. The tournament is ranked by tournament points, 2 points for a win, 1 point for a draw, and 0 for a loss, with victory point difference being the tiebreaker. There will be 6 games, each 1.5 hours. The games will be drawn at random order from the 6 basic scenarios found in the sourcebooks unmodified. Ranking is Swiss, so beyond the first game, which is completely randomly drawn, you will be paired with a player with the closest TP, tournament points, followed by victory point score, avoiding your own team members in the first 4 games. Nice and simple, with over 150 people attending. Will this change what you plan to bring? So,
when he says avoiding your own team members, are we...
All right, so as you guys know, at both Nova and Ardacon, we have basically teams where me, you, Matt Iverson, and Evan Iverson are coming as an American team. And the Canadians are coming as their own team. Now, as part of the American team, we actually have the New Zealander, Jericho Jackson, thrown in. So happy to have you aboard. And the Canadians will have the South African member of their coming in because they only have one guy. So it can't be a whole team.
So teams 5
yes.
deep. Okay.
Teams of 5. Now, basically, you're just winning for your own team. You should think of it more like your own club. GBHL James already mentioned on his Facebook page that it isn't about countries. It's about your own little club, your own little group. Mm-hmm. Now, I mean, of course, there's still multiple groups from Manchester, but that's to be expected from the fact that the tournament's in Manchester. But yeah, basically that's what he means by that. So we're going to be avoiding playing each other for the first 4 games.
Good for you.
Which, yep.
Got him.
So Nova does the exact same thing, actually. For the first 3 games, though, because Ardacon has 6 games, we have 5. So for the first 3 games at Nova, we avoid pairing up teammates, and then after that, on that Sunday, it's just, hey, if you get paired up, you get paired up. Yeah. So especially the final round. But what he's saying is, so in our last video, we didn't tell them, well, we told them what we plan on bringing, but we said it with not that many details. Mm-hmm. So knowing that it's all the 6 basic scenarios, now you know what this means. This means that in Reconnoiter, do you know what that means for Reconnoiter? It means that, like,
I've never played the basic Reconnoiter.
So he's never played the basic scenarios. So obviously, as you guys might know, in DCHL tournaments, we actually modify them in order to make them as balanced as possible because the scenarios straight out of the book aren't meant to be completely 100% balanced. So in normal Reconnoiter, you actually get a victory point for every single model that crosses the field. But that means you can go well beyond, like you can get, like, if you're Goblin Town, you can get 72 like victory points. I'm dead serious. But remember what that means. So at Nova, what we do is we cap the victory points, and now last year it kind of created a mess in one scenario, but we fixed that this year. Yep. So, but basically in our scenarios, you get a maximum amount of victory points, and those victory points get applied to your total score. At Ardacon, it does not get applied to your total score. It just creates a win, which is 2 points. So, whereas victory points do get stacked up, but they're used as a tiebreaker. So, If you have more men, you can achieve more victory points there. So that's Reconnoiter, right? And remember, they're randomly drawn, but you will get all 6.
Yeah.
So the next one is High Ground, which I believe you get a victory point for every single model on the hill. Domination does not work like Domination for Nova. So on the American front, we have it where it's points worth of models on the objective. But for the scenarios of the book, it's model count. Now, the reason we did that is because everyone has the same number of points, but not everyone has the same number of models.
So right now, these last two scenarios, I see Goblin Town.
Goblin Town's going to completely own, except in Lords of Battle, where they get crushed.
Yeah, but I see guaranteeing 4 victories and losing 1 still.
I mean, we might say that now, but I mean, the GBHL are already known to play a lot of the normal scenarios, and Goblin Town, I don't think, is what's winning.
How many Goblin Town players do they have?
I don't actually know, but I do know that the top 3 of last year, we got Jay Clare, Ed Ball, and Dave Nolan. None of them had Goblin Town. In fact, I don't even know if the top 10. I think Damien plays Isengard, and James Long has Harad, and you got Tom, who doesn't play Goblin Town. Jamie doesn't play Goblin Town. James doesn't play Goblin Town. I don't think a lot of them.
I just speak from personal experience. Goblin Town, because we have one player down here that plays Goblin Town.
You guys might know Walker. He was actually a big person on this channel. Yeah, he loved Goblin Town. In fact, still loves it. He might even be. Is he playing him at Nova?
God, I hope not.
No, well, I mean, you're his doubles partner.
I don't know. For doubles, yes, I believe he's playing Goblin Town.
Okay.
And we're not making a nice list for doubles.
Yeah.
We're not making a. It's getting dirty.
So.
Dirty at doubles, but the GT, I don't think he's playing Goblin Town. I just worry about Horde armies just winning by sheer massive numbers.
It is definitely a different meta for us. Like I said, I don't format it around number of models. Now, the flip side is, though, the situation you have where you'll have a single model like Aragorn worth 260 points and you just can't get him off the objective, and so he beats it. But in my mind, a Balrog should beat 10 goblins on a scenario.
Yes,
so, but hearing this, does it change your army? I'll tell you now, it does make me less enticed to play like something like a Fell Beastless, which is a little bit more useful in our events.
I like how you brought that up. Nifty how you did that.
You already said you were thinking about not playing.
Do I think... so yes, I was planning on bringing Fell Beasts. With a little twist, thanks to Dave Nolan, shout out. But there is no way they can win those 2 scenarios. Like, if I get pitted up against a Horde army, and it doesn't even have to be Goblin Town, it's just a Horde army in general.
Anything with over 50 models.
Yeah, they're gonna tie me up with like 20 of them, and then the other 30 are gonna be like, and then run off the board, and I'm gonna be like, son of a...
Now, I will say it is very smart for James to make it just the main 6. The reason why is because he's inviting people from all over the world, and you probably want something more familiar, unlike Nova, which does more of a narrative-based GT, and has like a bunch of custom scenarios for pure balance.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, it's like completely, you don't know what you're really getting into. These are completely new scenarios. Does it change my force? No, I have lots of models. I love my force.
Stupid.
So,
Stupid old man.
it changes me very slightly. 600 points, meaning that I can't bring Galadriel probably. Now, for those of you who went to the Canada tournament, you actually already know what I have. But yeah, I can't bring Galadriel. Probably have to X off a couple other models. But other than that, no, it won't change me. And the 6 scenarios, I think I'll actually do just fine in.
I think it changes me very heavily, actually. I don't think I'm going to be bringing Fell Beasts.
Yeah.
Which means I'm stuck with... I want to play Isengard. So I'm stuck with Mirkwood or Dwarves. Can you ally in this one?
Yep. No, Ardacon has no comp restrictions whatsoever.
Dwarves with Mirkwood, then.
Dwarves with Mirkwood. So he'll be bringing Dwarves with Mirkwood. And we won't go into the lists in heavily or anything like that. and I will be bringing Arnor with Hobbits. And you might think that Arnor with Hobbits is not a good combination, and trust me, it actually can be very devastating. We've played this list. It is actually very powerful. With the exception of Lords of Battle, where I get crushed. Even in the Canadian tournament, I was actually due to win 3 out of 4 rounds. One, I played Lords of Battle, and I was fighting a Angmar list with like 4 trolls and Birder with the Witch King. And I was like being hurled everywhere. Anthony Russo, if you're hearing this, yeah, he took me out. So it was
that list. Felbeast just throwing his kids around everywhere.
Yeah, it was a pretty bad day.
Man, I should have killed that old man in the back.
Sorry, we're going for a rematch when we go to the Canada tournament in July. So let me get to the next part of his question. This is actually, or sorry, his question. He was talking about the meta at America, what his experience was when he came here. And he said, my opinion on the meta at Nova was there appeared to be more chaff armies with strong strength defense troop choices and unnamed heroes with little experience of magic. All 4 of us Brits brought competitive armies for sure. But my interpretation of cheese is when you take a combination of special rules from various lists that aren't intended to work together, i.e. Corsair Reavers with axes backed up by a Shade, or Goblin Town assisted by Moria Shamans and a Shadow Lord. Our armies seemed more elite and more reliant on our casters. Gandalf for me, Saruman for Damien, and Thranduil Galadriel for Tom and Jamie. The top UK meta is currently dominated by forces including multiple named Ringwraiths, Goblin Town with outside help, and Rivendell Knights forces make a strong showing depending on the tournament pack. Pre-Hobbit, monster rules, it was probably Mirkwoodless. I hope that gives some useful insight, and I look forward to catching up with all of you at Nova. Hot Gates Gaming, James. All right, so that is actually very interesting because even he admits that Goblin Town with some help actually is highly competitive.
Goblin Town by itself is terrifying, and then when you start adding magic into it, it's even worse. I mean, the Goblin King by itself, he's almost as bad as the Undying as a general, just because he's so fat you can't kill him. And I hate that rule, but he's literally so fat you can't kill him.
I think a 3-up was probably a bit much. I think they should have stepped it at 5-up or
Maybe.
something. Yeah, he's a bit absurdly hard to kill.
But yeah, it's like...
So his analysis of the meta in America is correct at the time in which he came to Nova. It was exactly that. I will say that now that he's coming to Nova again, he will see a little bit of a difference. You're looking at players more experienced. You're looking at now our judges are being tossed into the ring. You're looking at now a lot of our players who had only been playing 1 month. Remember, Jake only played a month. Like, a lot of our players were extremely new. In fact, I would easily say that 80% of our American players had only been playing for 3 months before Nova showed up.
Yeah, I literally started, it was like exactly a month. And then, Nova happened.
It pretty much, I mean, you're looking at, and then because of how new the DCHL was, we didn't have players from all across the world for the most part, other than like, not world, I mean nation. So you have like, the Chicago players showed up, but their meta is really new.
Yeah.
And then you have the New England players, in which case they have Matt, who is actually very good at the game.
Yep.
But outside of him, you're not looking at any really, and his son, but outside of him, you're not looking at any real competitive players. So yeah, there wasn't very much. And he's right. It did have a strong focus on just high strength, defense choices, unnamed heroes. Unnamed heroes is interesting. I would have thought that most of our players would have relied on named ones.
A lot of the players realize how important might is, so you can spam captains and get more might. And, they can have a lot of named heroes, but once they're spent out of might, they're done.
All right. Well, then that's probably where you got that from, is that. And now, the lack of experience with magic, definitely. Highly lack of experience on magic. We are very inexperienced with magic. And
I'm better now, though.
Yeah, and now all of our players are much better. Now that the communities are starting to become more and more like interlaced and stuff like that, we're starting to learn from each other more. So I think that's going to change our meta a little bit. But yeah, I absolutely agree with James's analysis here, and I would think, yeah, he's completely right about all this. Now, as far as cheese, he is also correct. His armies were not cheese. I wouldn't. Not just James, all of them. Like I said in my last video, I don't think they're cheese. Kind of depends on what your version of cheese is.
Everyone has a different definition of cheese.
I'm probably more inclined to agree with James's definition here, where it's just completely out of sorts forces. Now, in a way, that could be argued that and I'm just using yours as an example since you're responding to us, he had Legolas or Megalus with Rivendell Knights, and obviously those two never fought together, never even got close to each other in the movies. So is that cheese?
Like one of the things I
don't know.
Cheese, like I'm a big fluff guy. So you got Palace Court card, which never ever leave Palace Court.
Yep.
Why would they be fighting anywhere? Guards of the Galadrim Court, the Galadrim Court.
Yeah, they're in every Gondor army.
They're great models. Fight 6 with pikes, and you can do all this shit. But they never leave the Galadrim Court. So why are they fighting anywhere? It's that kind of stuff.
And to be honest, it's almost like, what can you really do about it? Because James, you made the right decision in fielding Legolas. You needed him to be competitive. Yep. So do I regard that as cheese? No, I regard it as competitive, but some might based on this definition. So it's so weird to talk about cheese. It's like, I don't really know. I couldn't tell you what really is cheesy.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, guys, this is the longest we've ever been on a single question, mostly because it is a really long, in-depth kind of question. We're going to jump into a few questions regarding the One Ring forums before we close out this video. As you know, I like to keep it short. However, as a quick note, one of our players actually noticed that Gullivar. Okay, so previously we said Gullivar is not. We said he's in an FAQ. He's not in an FAQ. Apparently, he's not at all, and I was told he was, and I just went with it, and I should have looked it up, and I probably should have known. We're going to rule it the exact same way.
It's the same way we ruled it in the last video. He goes down to 1.
Goes down to 1. So, I mean, I think that is the logical way to approach it, unless any of you guys have a counter argument to it. But you're right. It's not in the GBHL FAQ. It's not in the Games Workshop FAQ. It's not in any FAQ. Now, I do like the ruling that he said. I believe his name is Twinkle Star. I have to look it up. It's a YouTube name. But he did mention, if it's a main rule, a way it works, then it can't be changed. So for instance, eagles, and this is in the FAQ, if you take away the eagle's fly rule, he still moves 12 inches. He just can't be
crossover
models or anything like that. And I kind of like that. I kind of like it saying, Gullivar can't be touched. But for now, we're just going to rule it as he just goes down to 1 until we see anything of a stronger ruling.
Yeah.
So with that, we go into the One Ring questions. And this is a forum, guys. If you aren't on it, I'd highly recommend getting into it. It's actually really popular. And Jake, just give me your answers as we go through these, because I'm just interested. For the first question, we have from Xor. It's Xore. He says, hi, I've been starting a new Elven force to play versus my friends. I'm mixing mostly some Rivendell models and Wood Elves. He loves their style and all their equipment. But how can elves crack the defenses of dwarves? Is it any tactics I should focus on? My woodies will die like flies without even making a scratch on dwarven armor. I really want to make the army with only elves and no allies. Happy for the advice.
So there's 2 answers to this. 1, you don't. It's going to be the most boring fight on the face of the earth, because you'll win every fight, but you won't kill them. Or 2, you take the Stormcaller, you knock all the dwarves to the ground, and then you double up on piercing strikes. Piercing strikes.
Two-handed weapon strikes.
Those.
Yep.
That's really the only way I see doing it. I know someone mentioned throwing Gilgalad at him. My only response to that is, if you throw one of the biggest models at something, it's gonna die.
Yeah. I mean, Gilgalad's an obvious choice. I think Thranduil and all them, because they have a lot of attacks. If you're looking for just mainland Elven Force, I'd agree with Jake.
Any hero strength 4, they'll
Well, no, not true. Most dwarves are defense 7, which means strength 4 still needs a 6. Gilgalad's special because his spear gives him +1 to his wound rolls.
Yeah, right.
So really what you're looking at, and I say Thranduil just because he has a whole ton of attacks.
Yep.
But overall, if you can trap the models or knock them down, knocking them down obviously happening from, that's Jake's phone going off.
Sorry. Damn it.
But yeah, knocking down the models happening from a Stormcaller, and then two-handed weapon strikes, or you can use Noldurin Exiles, which comes from Gildur, and try to circle them around, or use Cav to make sure they're trapped, stuff like that.
But any experienced dwarf player is going to have a block of dwarves that you're not going to be able to get around.
Which is why the knocking to the ground two-handed strikes is a great option.
That's the only way you're going to do it.
So we're going to move on from there, and the next question is from Lord of the Brown Ring. He says, so, funny story, and he's probably watching this video too. Lord of the Brown Ring actually hates his name. He doesn't want, he made it as a joke name, and he prefers to have it as a complete... Jake, this is the first time Jake's actually heard the name.
I'm so red right now.
It's the first time he's heard the name. I should have called him by his real name, but now I'm not going to expose him.
You need to.
I won't expose you.
You need to warn me about that stuff ahead of time.
He says, so basically I had my first game with him the other day, him being Bolg. I took him, Azog. He took him, a Bolg, and Hunters, Orcs with Gundabad's against Treebeard, Strider, Aragorn, Boromir, Captain of the Tower, and Knights of Minas Tirith. He had a lot more troops, but 1-on-1, Azog was able to kill Boromir, and I'm very pleased with that. Has anyone else used him, and how he has fared?
I've seen Azog used to great effect.
He's still stuck on his name.
Azog's very good at take this. I got it.
All right. So guys, just so you don't know, Azog is one of the strongest, almost high-tier evil models in the game. Being Fight 7, Strength 5 with Burly, which means he gets +1 to all his wound rolls, and he wounds all heroes on a 3+. He has Defense 5, that is the killer, because his son, Bolg, despite being more naked, or just as naked, has 7 defense.
I don't know, his son has like steel embedded in his body.
Yeah, apparently he has been through some crap. That's some fatherly beatings. I don't know. That's like really bad. But yeah, no, I mean, basically you're talking about, I mean, it's a model that is very, very powerful. Yep. And then combined with the White Warg, he can use the White Warg's might, which he comes with his own set of 3. So it's a lot.
Yeah, he has enough might. He has as much might as Boromir does, but I think he's higher fight than Boromir.
He is naturally higher fight than Boromir, yes.
Yeah, so he'll crump Boromir every single time.
He is very powerful, and at a very similar point cost as Boromir when Boromir takes the flag.
Yes.
So, which of course most Boromirs do. So the question is really, how effective is this guy? I mean, I'll be honest, he's very powerful. Yeah. Extreme powerful. It's just his defense 5. When we get an armored version of Azog, you're looking at probably the most powerful evil model, one of the most powerful evil models.
He better be at least 230 points.
He's already at that pretty much. In fact, he's over that once he gets the White Warg.
Really? I thought he was 200 base.
He's that, but then you get the White Warg, and that's another
that's another 50. That's
yep. Right. So we'll try to refrain too much from points values, but overall, yes, very, very powerful. What's my experience? He dies. That's the only other experience I got for you. Yeah. If he loses a fight, which by the way, this is a dice game, he's going to lose a fight. It's going to happen. He's going to die. He has 1 fate.
It's true.
With 5 defense and 3 wounds. He's got literally maximum, like, you're going to always wound the guy on 5s, always, because everything you send at Bolg is just going to do that.
I think most people take Bulk over Azog.
No, I'm sorry, Azog. Everything you send at Azog. Yeah, most people take Bolg over Azog, especially once Bolg got his own warg.
Yeah.
Now, granted, his own warg is not as survivable, but, I mean, yeah.
I mean, yeah, you're losing out on three might, but you have a character that's not going to die as easily as Azog.
I'm telling you now, if you're going into any tournament, I'd just bring Bolg. And I'd spam up on Hunterworks.
If you're trying to play Fluffy.
Or Yazneg. Bring
Yazneg.
Yazneg. Yep, that lance.
Yep.
Can't be ignored. So next question is from Matt Seawick, who says, I was just wondering for you all, same as myself for today, which enemies through your gaming have you come up against, either often or in difficult battles? Now I'm going to go ahead and shorten the question. He actually says a lot. He gives his own experiences with this. But basically, the question is short and simple. Nemesis enemy. Who do you hate?
Goblin Town Goblins.
Fitting.
They're by far the bane of my existence. My Fel Beasts have gotten chopped to bits by these guys because there's a horn in the back and he gets to make 72 terror checks because he's got 87 models. At least 4 of them are going to make it, which means 8 are going to get in there because they can all support each other. He's going to have 8 dice compared to my 3, and I'm going to get chopped to bits.
Yep. Sounds about right.
I will literally fight anything. I will fight anything else. Just keep me away from goblins.
I would have to say for me, it's going to be the Undying. I guess can we say troops?
Did he say troops?
He said troops. All right, so I won't pick a hero.
Yeah, because that's not a troop.
Yeah, so as far as a mainline troop that I cannot stand, absolutely hate going against them, running through them in my head, I want to say Rivendell Knights. Only because they make for an extremely boring game. I mean, those guys run around the field shooting at you, and if you can't catch them, it is the most boring game of all existence.
True. I could say that about Rohan too.
And the thing is, it's smart. It's honestly the way they should be playing.
But it's just
It is so boring. So I probably can't stand Rivendell Knights because of that fact.
I'll say Reavers.
Reavers, yeah.
Reavers
are another very annoying unit.
Completely undercosted for that horrific stat line.
I'd say Hunterworks when spammed actually can be quite annoying, but yeah, Reavers definitely over Hunterworks only because they tend to win the fight with so many attacks. So
It's a toss-up between Goblin Town and Reavers for me.
And for me, it's still Rivendell Knights. So I think I have an absolute horrible time with them. So we're going to move on to that. And guys, we're going to make this the last question of today. Like I said, I'm just pulling these right from the One Ring. There's a lot of great questions on there. And all these are actually answered on the One Ring. So if you guys don't know about it, you should go on it. One Ring Co. Don't just type in One Ring, otherwise you'll get like this movie page. So yeah, it'll be like, what is this? Devin lied to me. So this question comes from Wan Shitang.
Okay.
Wan Shitang. Guys, I apologize. I'm terrible with my Oriental. But however, as for the question, he asks, is Tom Bombadil useful? He was looking through his collection yesterday when he came across a model that he had not seen in a while, none other than good old Tom himself. While I was looking around at the model, it occurred to me that I have never seen anyone else use him in the area before and outside of campaigns. I have not seen him on this site either. So he then goes into his stats and all that stuff, and basically just wondering, okay, how do you use him competitively in a points match? Have you ever seen Tom before?
Yes.
All right. So who's used him against you? I'm curious.
Nathan. All
right.
It wasn't in a typical 800, it was in Heroes of Middle Earth, but he teamed him up with Flowey.
Oh, well, that's gross.
Yeah, and so if you don't know, Flowey, dwarf, line of sight, spends a will, takes any special rule away. Okay? I run Fel Beasts, my general, the Undying. Undying has a special rule where he gets to use one of his 20 fate, or he gets to use 20 fate or will as fate points. So you have Flowey, who's like, no, stop that. You have Tom Bombadil, who gives him his will back, and then you have Legolas, who one-shots my.
Oh, that's so
Undying.
Gross.
It's really, really,
That's so gross.
really bad.
I didn't even think about that.
It's really bad.
Guys, Tom Bombadil is interesting because he's indestructible.
Yeah.
You can't destroy him in any, and that's actually why we had to ban him from our tournament. Not because he's broken, but because he simply put just breaks scenarios. A lot of them rely on you killing a certain number of points, but you can't. You're literally denying your opponent 160 points worth of kills.
Yeah, especially when you can just park it on an objective and you're like,
and then he can't move. You can't charge him. You need your opponent's permission to charge him, which is actually kind of a funny fluff rule. He's one of those models that's meant for campaigns, but can be used in a point scenario. I have seen him used. Actually, the most funny way I've seen him used for me, I was lobbing trebuchet shots at a model within 6 inches of him, and he just directed the shot into Tom, which of course makes the shot disappear.
Oh, that's so stupid.
Yeah. So, because it doesn't say he can't be targeted by missile weapons. It says like the shots disappear when they target him. So he's still a legal target. So other than that, though, I haven't seen him be used effectively yet. For 160 points, I'd actually say he's worth it. For what he does, he is really worth it. You can pump up Boromir, you can pump up Legolas, you can pump up Floy. Anyone who uses Will often, hell, if you want to be really nasty, you can pump up Alfred and just constantly give him Will to give people might. It's disgusting. And so, yeah, I'd absolutely say it's worth it. If you're fighting against him, surround him with 3 troops. And you can't charge him, but you can surround him, maybe with 4. But the best part is, if he charges you, he gets in combat and he just pushes him back an inch. And that's it. So you can keep him in this tightly contained little square and or triangle. And then you're good, because he does not ignore your zones. So that's how you really keep him locked up. So, but that's going to be mainly our advice today. I guess that's it. And actually, we'll go into the last little thing. Jacob's eager to show you the prize he wants to win at the doubles at Nova. Guys, doing something special. So for the GTs this year, we are doing the prizes, all weapons, just like for last year, kind of. Last year we did the staff power, however, we need to go a little smaller, a little bit more intricate than that, especially for shipping and all that, especially if a non-American wins. But we're going to do it now for every single event, but something kind of unique for each event. So what we thought of for the doubles, where you and a partner fight together, the swords of Killy and Philly. That's kind of cool.
Yes.
I actually think that's really cool. So you and your partner get to choose which one you want of Killy and Philly.
I'm really looking forward to winning this.
So Jake just wants to show you what his prize is. Now, we're not going to take it out of the box because, like I said, in case we need to ship it.
Fingerprints all over it, and it would be bad.
Yeah, that too. So it is actually still stapled together, not taken out or anything. It's pretty much still completely intact. And we're going to put this, actually, I guess, go ahead and put it on the wall. So we're going to have this now as a new little display set piece. You might need to sit up to put that there. You're going to make it fall over.
Shh, I'm not going to.
So forever this will be reminding, I guess, the guy who's going to win this prize, or the guys. Actually, for any of you who wonder who's going to win which sword, you actually just pick. You and your partner just try to make a decision. But if you can't figure it out, we have a guy named Sam Walker who was in our battle reports. He came up with a method. He said, whoever's more killy, in other words, the one who kills more people, gets Killy's sword.
That makes sense.
And the other guy will be Feely, because it'll be feeling.
You know, it works, because I'll be killing more, and he'll be fielding more goblins. It makes perfect sense.
There you go. So that's how you decide who gets Killy and Feely. I don't know. Figure it out, guys. So,
fight to the death.
Yes. So now as far as Sting, you guys may have seen it on our Facebook page. We have Sting. Sting is actually, he's here. Now, Sting we do have out of the box. That's because we bought him out of the box. But he is still in perfect condition and well taken care of and everything like that. So he will actually be for the prize for the 1,000 point hero slugfest.
I'm so looking forward to that again.
Yep. So basically, this will be Bilbo's sword. So now, given the theme of this, of Thorin's company and all that, we have Bilbo's sword, we have Killian Philly's sword. So who do you think will be the sword of the GT? It's a thought. It's not confirmed, but it's a thought. It's just a thought. I don't know. Actually, Tom said Andoril, and Andoril's a good thought as well.
Yeah.
And Orcris is a good thought. I've heard Galamdring. I've heard Morgul Blade, but the Morgul Blade would probably be something else. It's just a thought.
Sauron's mace.
He wants Sauron's mace. I'm not doing that one. I like that. Right where it is. But anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts. What sword do you think should be at the GT? And I guess that, now keep in mind, it's not just swords. We're also doing trophy prizes. We're also doing lots of other stuff. So there's a lot of different prizes. And there's bracket prizes. So even if you're not the first, second, and third, you actually win within your own bracket. So whatever number of games you win, that is your bracket. And then if you have the most victory points within your bracket, boom, you win a prize for that.
Don't get discouraged if you don't win everything.
Yeah, if you're number like 30 in the pack, then you can actually still win something.
As long as you're number 1 in your placement.
Hell, guys, we give prizes for losing matches. Now, I'm not even joking. The lemonade raffle. That's what we call it.
Alex Louvier is going for.
Dude, we have a guy, Alex Louvier. If he's listening to this, he wins all the lemonade, all of it. That man. I feel like if there's a wooden spoon award, he's like, that's mine.
I'm not going for first place. I'm not going for first place. I'm going for last place.
Whether we do a wooden spoon or not, we don't know. We may not actually do it because of all the bracket prizes we're doing. So don't think that there's a wooden spoon award. If we have time to do one and we find one that's really interesting as a wooden spoon, then we'll do it. But otherwise, it's not an affirmed thing. I feel like that's one of those special prizes that you do like last minute.
Yeah.
So, but all right, guys. That's it. I guess we will talk to you very soon.